An old woman who had been paralyzed for years was suddenly pushed out of the ward. The doctor was actually outside, prepared a pool full of noodles for her. The old lady was stunned, because this was what she had wanted since she was a child. Then the doctors took the blanket off her. They took her into the pool. She was like a child, holding hands with the doctors and dancing in the pool. She even grabbed a handful of noodles and poured them over the doctor's head. It was the happiest day of the old lady's life. But the hospital was going to fire the doctor for it. Patsy thought this was unbelievable, and that's when another piece of bad news came to Patch's ears. His girlfriend had just been brutally murdered by a patient. The successive shocks left Patch desperate, because it was at his urging that his girlfriend to treat the patient with warmth and care, but no one could have imagined that this would kill her. Ashamed, Patch, he dared not show up at his girlfriend's funeral. He waited until all the guests were gone. Before sneaking to his girlfriend's grave. He took out the love poem he had read to his girlfriend from his arms. He didn't expect that when he read it again, he would be separated from her forever. Paige kissed his girlfriend's coffin with reluctance. He didn't know how to move on with his life. His lover had passed away and he lost his job. Patch felt he had lost interest in everything. He packed up his things. He went to the edge of the cliff where he used to go with his girlfriend. Desperate, he stared at the abyss beneath him. Numerous times he wanted to jump off, but then a butterfly landed on the bag his girlfriend had given him. Patchy looked stunned. The butterfly seemed to sense his despair, gently flew to his lapel. It seemed to be encouraging him to continue to live. Patch looked at the butterfly and could not help but cry. He lifted his finger and lightly released the butterfly. Just like releasing the bitterness in his heart, Patch returned to medical school. He took away his student file. He had his friend look it over. He realized he hadn't violated anything at all. The most ridiculous thing was that the dean had written the reason for his expulsion as excessive happiness. Patch vowed to fight the dean to the bitter end. He went straight to the state medical union's campus court. He appealed to the dean to have the dismissal order overturned. On the day of the hearing, the dean pointed out that Patch had opened a free hospital without a license to practice medicine, but Patch said, "What do you care about a license if you can help people?" In the middle of his speech, a group of unexpected guests suddenly came to the courtroom. They were all children who had been treated by Patch before. They all came together. They all took out the red balls that used to amuse them and put them on their noses in this silent but powerful way to support their beloved doctor. Perhaps they were convinced by Patch's speech, or perhaps they were touched by the warmth of these children. In the end, the medical board overruled the dean's decision to fire him. They unanimously agreed to let Patch finish his studies. On the day of the graduation ceremony, the rebellious Patch went into a vacuum. He received his degree naked in his bachelor's uniform, and he continued this rebellion into his work. This is a movie based on true events, The Mindfulness, in which the prototype of Dr. Partridge, after working again, established a free hospital. More than 15,000 patients were treated pro bono. He was also affectionately known as Dr. Clown because he often wore a red nose to entertain children. He was affectionately known as Dr. Clown, as Partridge always believed. Medicine is not just about giving time to life, it is also about giving dignity and joy to life, and that's the difference between humans and animals.